Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at something that I use in a lot of my fights to win me these games. And it's something that I see a lot of lower elo players, and just kind of players in general struggling with. And that is the art of patience. Now, I see a lot of people play with the Octane mindset where they just run headfirst into fights and they don't really think about things, they don't let the play kind of evolve, and it really is costing them a lot of games. So we're going to be jumping into this, we're going to be diving in and breaking it all down. But just quickly, if you guys like these styles of videos where we dive into games, show you these kind of examples so you can really start to put them into your own gameplay, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches, including myself, creating highly in-depth guides and courses, all to make you the best Apex player you can possibly be. So if you really want to take your game to the next level, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership and start to improve today. But okay, with that being said, let's jump into game here. And the first thing that I want to cover is when you should be rezzing your teammate, because as you can see right here, my teammate is down, and a lot of people would get really confused about these types of situations. Either they would try to res their teammate too quickly and get caught out for it, or they would take way too much time and not be able to res their teammate. Now in this situation, we were hot off the heels of a third party. I was able to do a little bit of damage to them, so they had to drop back down into the building. And now a lot of people might be confused because they would say, hey, there's a little bit of downtime, why aren't you resing your teammate right here? Well, it's because I don't have enough information. I want to get just a little bit more to see what the enemy team is doing, and it's a lot easier if you guys were playing something like a Bloodhound or a Seer, that you could just pop a scan or use your heartbeat sensor and just kind of tell where people are. But with this, I'm playing Vantage. So in these types of situations, what I want to do is I want to get just a little bit more information out for myself before I go for this res. So I want to check the stairwell here, because when I'm checking the stairwell here, I do get to see a little bit of information. Now if somebody was on that stairwell, say they were crouch walking up or anything like that, if I did go for the res way too early, they would hear that and they would just have to peek around the corner basically, and I would be screwed because I would just, they'd be on top of me almost instantly. But because I checked the stairwell, I could see that nobody was in position, and if they were to hear the res and they were to start coming, then I would be able to hear them and I'd be able to either finish the res if it was close enough, or I'd be able to back off. But now I'm able to go over here, get the res, and I do take the little bit of extra time to position myself properly, because now I can see right here, and I can also see kind of this little bit of the doorway down here. If somebody were to push me, I would be able to instantly know it and instantly be able to react properly. If somebody were to swing this way, then I could either drop down here, climb up here, or just completely just take the fight with them and use my teammate's knockdown shield. But because I was a little bit more patient before I went for the res, I was able to activate like this kind of higher knowledge that I would get in this fight. Because if you guys saw when I first walked up, if I just went to go for the res, then I'd be facing this wall, and that's no good. So when I'm going for the res here, I know exactly what's going on, and my teammate's able to get up perfectly safe. And as soon as we finish the res, I do hear them walking around down here. So I want to make them know that I know that they're there. This is something that a lot of people mess up. When they have line of sight on somebody, they don't want to take shots because they don't want to get overly aggressive when their teammate's healing. But this is something you guys need to get used to, because if I can get a decent amount of damage out on this team, then I would kind of make it known to them that they can't push right now, and it gives my teammate just a little bit more extra time to heal. Because I don't want to overcommit to this, because I want to be a little bit more patient. I don't want to drop down here because one, they have a caustic right here, and two, my teammate's healing. I don't want to jump into this 1v2 situation, and a lot of people would actually overcommit to this. I've seen it happen a bunch of times. I've been on the other end of this. If I were the caustic, I've seen it where people will literally drop on top of me and try to 1v2 because their teammate's healing, and it never works out. So I'm trying to get a little bit of damage out because I need to. And then I see this Octane make a mistake here, and because I was patient enough to let them make a mistake, you can see how this can backfire almost instantly. So the Octane starts to climb up the balcony here, and I'm able to get 107 damage off on him almost instantly. Now I do miss a couple more shots here because this was my warm-up game of the day, but I am able to get a really nice melee off on him because melee is still stupidly broken in this game. But after that, I don't go instantly hunting for the caustic, and this is another mistake that people make a lot. They get into a fight, they get the advantage because now we are in a 2v1 situation, but they always just overcommit to something. As soon as that Octane's down, people would be like, all right, where's the caustic? I need to kill the other one. I need to get this fight down instantly. I don't have to rush into that. My teammate's up, I'm up. The caustic makes a mistake here because he tries to fight my teammate. Now he does do some decent damage, but because he rushed into something, he didn't play to his strengths. He's a caustic. He wants to barrel up. He wants to play protective, doesn't play patiently, and he gets into a really bad situation where he's now dead and out of the game. Now that's one situation like that where you guys can use this in your own games. If you were the caustic and you're in that situation where your teammate rushes up and dies, don't follow suit. You can play to your strengths, Go to a floor in the building, throw some gas barrels down, let the enemy team be overly aggressive on you, and you can turn that onto them. But because we were playing a little bit more patiently, because I set up a few extra things, we were able to get a really nice kill off on both those guys. Now I do drop down here and we do get third partied almost instantly again because it's fragment and stuff happens. So we are getting shot at the side here, and this is another example of just waiting things out. I go up to the top here because you always want high ground. I've talked about it numerous times on this channel. You always want to grab high ground when you can. And now that I have this high ground, I start to scan out a little bit. Now in hindsight, I do see that there's a guy right here, but in the game currently, because of the way that people normally play, they normally try to peek around here. So that's where my mind was going automatically, because you know, people tend to follow the same patterns. So I slide over here, and looking back on it, I could have had my head taken off by that Pathfinder if he was a little bit faster on his shots, but he wasn't, thankfully. But now I get the tag on him and I see that his teammate was right beside him, and now that the Pathfinder is in this little peek battle with me. But because the teammate was not as patient as the Pathfinder was, the Pathfinder was trying to get an opportunity to push. He was trying to get a headshot or anything like that, a crack, a knock, a down, something like that, so that they could push. But the teammate was a little bit more aggressive than he was, and he wasn't really waiting for that opportunity. It was a pub game, people play this differently, but he starts to run up these stairs and I get a really good one clip off on him. My teammate does steal the kill, but now this Pathfinder isn't even in a situation that he can push off of, because the Octane didn't even get any damage out on us and the Pathfinder's not even close. He does have the zip line, but I'm sure, as many of you know, if you get on a zip line in a fight, you're probably going to die, because we just sat at the top of the building, we waited for the Octane to come to us, they made a mistake, and now we're able to capitalize off that because I'm able to get some shots off on this Pathfinder. My teammate's able to thirst the Octane. The Pathfinder's still trying to get some shots off. He's not really moving at all. So I'm able to get a really good amount of damage off on him, and now that things have kind of transpired this way, now you can go on the attack. Now you can try to be a little bit more aggressive. He does try to throw the arc star, but you know, we are able to kill him, and this is just a really good example of playing patiently, waiting for your enemies to make mistakes so you can capitalize off that and really turn the game around and make it so you can win these fights a lot easier. Don't be the one to make mistakes. Don't rush into fights so you can try to be the one that kills somebody, because if you rush into a fight, there's a lot of stuff that you don't really understand. You don't get enough information, you're gonna die, and it's going to look like this, where you run away from your teammate, the teammate doesn't know what you're doing, you don't know what they're doing, and it's just a huge miscommunication. So I really hope you guys learned something from this and you enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next one.